Hello again, cartridge fans. Lots of news coming out at the moment from the factories. The new Epson 812XL chips were tested and passed, and they left Apex on the 25th of March by courier. As you may recall, Epson did a recent firmware update that rendered all compatibles on the market useless if the customer had updated. So remember on Epson to get customers to turn off all auto updates. We can swap out all of the chips you've got in stock or your store stock. And check your stock and give us an update on the chip numbers you need. Once you receive the chips, swap out the chips you need, and just send the old ones back to us for credit. Just post them back when you're done. So the current rule is turn off all updates for Brother, Epson, but leave updates on for HP to take full advantage of the mini smarts or the updates with the programmers, so that you've got something that no one else has. The good news is that we were allocated the first new Brother TN-2530, TN-2530XL chips, and the TN-258XL chips released by Apex for Australia. These will be the replacements for the popular 2450, the 253 and 257. But the bad news is that the V1 or the version 1 chip failed our final testing, and we've rejected the entire shipment. The cartridges do work, but it seems like they ran into some random issues during printing, ending printing or rejecting before the toner was completely empty. So without proper testing, these toners would have slipped through and launched in Australia. It could indicate that Brother have started some firmware games already from the time the chip was developed by Apex and the factory doing the production of the chips and us doing the testing. The good news for you is that once again we have screened out problematic cartridges before they arrived in Australia. Unlike the 2450 and the 253 and 257, these chips work more like the Epson and HP chips in that the toner levels are governed by the chip. The past Brother toners and chips the chips were just a regional identifier, and that had nothing to do with the toner levels. So the toner levels on those cartridges are governed mechanically by a flag or flag gear. Apex have adjusted some additional Brother coding, and the product was released yesterday on the 25th. Those cartridge chips will now be going back to for another round of testing, and assuming they pass, we'll release them. My fear is, as always, that some distributors who don't do thorough testing will release the first series coded chips to the market in an effort to be first to market and screw the market again for everyone. We've seen this before a number of times with premature releases on Oki, Kyocera, HP, and including the Brother predecessor to these cartridges. When the 253, 257 launched, before a good matched toner powder was fully developed, which saw poor colour matching to the original brand, and there was excessive toner waste. These issues alone cause customers just to go back to OEM, and it becomes very hard to get those customers back to a good aftermarket alternative when they've been burnt already by a dud compatible or aftermarket cartridges. So the message is do it right the first time. Don't burn your customers. I know it's hard because every seller says they have the best products and they've been tested. This is where you need to use your memory and remember those people who have fed you a load of BS in the past. Just remember, what you've been told in the past. Was it true or not? Remember that, some of these, when you're told a lot of BS and you're the one that loses the sales. So, just go with the people with a reputation who've trusted in testing and get to before you just pick something that's just launched quickly. This is very much a case of the tortoise and the hare. Do it right the first time rather than screw it up and burn your customers. Better to take your time and retain the customers long term than try to rush in and get something just because it's launched. I think we'll be very early to launch anyway, but if someone does launch the chips that have just been put out, I think there's going to be a problem. I have no doubt Brother will be playing the same anti-competitive tricks again on both of these ranges. So my advice is to take it slow. Don't buy loads of these cartridges first up. No amount of factory testing and distributor testing can catch everything. So the real world use and feedback is the third leg of stability in sales. So there's the factory testing, there's R testing, and then of course there's real world store sales where the customer uses it in all different types of use, whether they use the cartridge quickly, stop, start, 1 page at a time, 20 pages, whatever. Everyone uses the cartridges differently in different printers, and that can't be replicated in any factory testing or lab testing. That's real world testing, and that's the third leg of stability in testing. And when you get that feedback, you know you have all three areas covered, and you know a cartridge is rock solid. Only after it's been out in the field, we can screen as much as we can before it hits the field, but you have to have field testing as well, long life testing with customers in the real world who do all crazy things. That's when you know a cartridge is bulletproof. If our testing goes well, the earliest we will be comfortable in shipping the new products on these Brother Krugs will be about mid-April. And these will be sea freighted. We're not going to air freight them, so we're going to sea freight these. Finally, and this is just for the customers in WA, recent flooding and the severe weather in Western Australia has caused ongoing rail disruptions, impacting the delivery of some mail and parcels from the east coast across Australia. The Australian Rail Track Corporation, I think they're called, says the track between South Australia and WA will not reopen until after Easter, following ongoing flooding and damage to the rail lines. So you might have that infrastructure's damaged. Star Trek and Australia Post say there'll be an estimated 1 to 2 day delay in deliveries across Western Australia. I think if something's already on the rail on there, it's probably stuck. But anything leaving at the moment may take a little longer than normal to get over to WA. Okay, I think that's it. So until there's more news, I will see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.
Green, the color of true elation. Pine on a summer's day. See, I've been waiting for